at 7:11 p.m. Call the school committee to order. We have quorum. Mandy is on her way in. I apologize, the Zoom link was not working, so we are on a different Zoom link. No one watching us can see that, so no suggestions there. So let's get started. We start with pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, public comment for prior issues. We're going to do in person. You know the deal, name and address.
Yep. My name is Darrell Plant. I live at 490 Lancaster Ave. The failure of the override vote was not primarily the result of a tactical error or a messaging problem, as suggested by the school committee chair. Rather, it reflects a deeper issue. Many Lunenburg residents have lost confidence in our public institutions, particularly our schools. Over the past 7 to 8 years, school leaders have increasingly emphasized social equity initiatives, while academic performance has declined. Regardless of one's views of these initiatives, the results are concerning. According to statements made by both the superintendent and school committee chair at town meeting, the district is close to losing its accreditation, and approximately 40 to 45% of students are not reading at grade level proficiency. Many explanations have been offered, including curriculum changes, funding challenges, and demographic shifts. However, neighboring districts such as Lancaster, Ayr, Shirley, Groton, Pepperell, Townsend, Leominster, Fitchburg have faced similar challenges while achieving stronger outcomes, according to DESE data. Parents increasingly feel that the district has focused its attention on struggling students while insufficiently challenging those performing at or above grade level. Every student deserves to be appropriately challenged and supported. Equal opportunity should not require identical outcomes, nor should academic excellence be sacrificed in pursuit of other objectives. At the town meeting, I asked the superintendent to provide 3 specific strategies that would improve student performance. There was no response. If the district hopes to rebuild public trust, it must articulate a clear plan for academic improvement and demonstrate measurable results. To restore confidence and improve outcomes, I recommend the following. 1, reevaluate student support programs. Conduct a comprehensive review of all non-academic support programs and staffing. The goal should be to determine which programs demonstrably improve student outcomes and which can be streamlined, restructured, or eliminated. Resources should be directed towards services with measurable benefits. Students with significant behavioral or mental health concerns should receive appropriate support in partnership with parents, guardians, and qualified professionals. 2, prioritize academic achievement. Implement an aggressive reading, writing, and mathematics remediation program for students who are below proficiency. At the same time, expand opportunities for advanced learners through accelerated coursework, enrichment programs, and differentiated instruction. Students who have mastered grade level material should be encouraged to advance, rather than being held back by the pace of the class. Physical education and wellness opportunities should also be expanded, recognizing the important connection between physical and mental well-being. 3, review special education services. According to the superintendent, approximately 25% of students currently receive services through an individual education program, an IEP. The district should conduct an internal audit of all IEPs to ensure they are appropriate, compliant, and effective. Students with documented disabilities should receive the support they need to succeed, while ensuring that resources are allocated efficiently and responsibly. And 4, improve efficiency and accountability. By focusing resources on academic achievement and evaluating administrative and support costs, The district may identify opportunities for savings and improve effectiveness. Any savings should be used to strengthen classroom instruction, preserve extracurricular programs, and reduce financial burdens of taxpayers whenever possible. Most importantly, restoring academic excellence will require accountability at every level of leadership. The community deserves clear goals, transparent reporting, and measurable progress. If current leadership is unable to deliver meaningful improvement, residents should consider whether new leadership is necessary to move the district forward. I made copies for all of you if you want them.
Sure.
Yep, okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Black.
Good to see you. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
No, thank you.
Hi, good evening. Matt Nazarenko, 79 Robsville Road. How y'all doing? I have a file, so I'm just gonna hand it.
Sure.
Everybody's got
Got-
handouts.
Came prepared, Laura.
Right? I'm really impressed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So again, Matt Nazarenko, 79 Robsville Road. First off, thanks to Dr. Fortuna and Laura for having a meeting a couple weeks ago with boosters. That was very helpful. One of the things out of that was that the parents and the boosters are looking for a by sport line for funding. So we were able to find the fiscal year 24 actuals online if you go through all the budget files. And what I did is put those in the third and fourth column, with the second column being the number of students. I have some actuals for students, and the numbers are directionally correct if you move through to last school year. So I'm just going to use those as a constant. And what I did was I applied a 6.5% compounded annual growth rate to the costs in fiscal year 24, moving through to this past year. And if you go to the second page, the last two columns are the impact per athlete. So that is the cost per athlete. If you look, the black numbers would be revenue positive, meaning the $350 athletic fee that we would charge the student covers the sport. And then if you roll that out to the rightmost column, that would be the revenue impact per sport. So you can see that football is a $20,000 negative revenue impact, and other sports are positive. One thing that is concerning is that in the meeting we had a couple weeks ago, it was mentioned that middle school sports specifically do not cover the cost of the sport, which I now have 2 seasons of middle school sports under my belt with my oldest. I don't know how that's possible. Looking at field hockey and track, they're using hand-me-down jerseys. Field hockey had 11 games last year with 1 official per game at $50 an official. Track had 0 officials. The coaches were the officials, and they're using hand-me-down uniforms from varsity. So I don't know how track costs anything other than overhead allocations, which is what I would call the programmatic costs. So programmatic costs appear to be transportation and allocations such as the athletic director, insurance, huddle fees, etc. The math seemed, yes, stipends. The math seemed to, with stipends would actually be in the operating cost, not in programmatic cost. So operating costs, in my mind, are direct costs associated with that sport. Another clarification I'd like to make is related to MIAA rules. 6th graders are not allowed to play on JV or varsity sports, full stop. 7th and 8th graders are only allowed to play if room exists. That would eliminate pretty much football, basketball, baseball, softball, any major sport. There's probably not enough room. Track and field hockey are not offered at the middle school level in any clubs locally. The closest field hockey club is down in Worcester. The closest track club is in Lowell or Waltham. They are not offered. The first time picking up a field hockey stick for a lot of these girls is in 6th grade. Last year, the varsity field hockey team won the Mid-Watch League undefeated. It's a very good program. There were 20 girls on the turf this morning at 6:45 this morning working out to try to repeat. So just to sum this all up, middle school sports was $19,400 revenue positive, effectively offsetting football. So we made the decision to cut middle school sports because of a funding issue, and they are revenue positive. And I don't see why we're doing that. Additionally, they're not under the MIAA. The coaches make the schedules, so restoring them is actually really easy. You don't have to contact really anybody. The AD's not involved. I know Coach Rios last year just kind of scheduled the games. We started the field hockey season with actually no games scheduled and finished the year with 12. So you all have copies of this. I'm happy to share it digitally if you want. I have a request in, a formal records request to Dr. Fortuna and the school to help out. I'd like the actuals for this. These are what I would consider estimates moving from 24 forward. And myself and some other parents are happy to provide this analysis for you. This didn't really take me that long.
Madam Chair, can I ask follow-up questions?
We don't respond.
We don't respond to public comment.
The problem is I don't understand the data.
Then
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm okay with asking clarifying questions about data because,
So like I'm looking at the middle school track numbers, and the programmatic costs and operating costs are identical down to the penny. How is that possible?
There's no transportation,
so
and it's allocated.
There
It's
is-
where it's
for
allocated.
middle school track, or
It-
there is,
I think there's some allocation issues, because if you look at like going deeper into some of these sports, softball is one line item. There were like this year, there were 2 middle school teams for softball. So this is just going off of the 24 data here. If you looked at the budgeting for these years too, we used $40,000 for transportation for every single year. And one of the years, the actuals was like $140,000. So that's another, I'm not gonna focus on transportation. I think there's others, but.
Yeah. So did the way that you define programmatic costs?
I did not define these.
Oh, okay.
did you go through
Is that
This is
so this is based off the slideshow, the info that was on the
This-
slideshow from May 1st, 2024?
the supplementing document, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I've seen this too, I just pulled up, I have a similar sheet.
So
Yeah.
the costs appear, they are allocated by sport. So this seems to be a precedent that we have done this in the
We
past.
have,
So
and we should be.
yes.
We can talk more about
Yeah.
this, I just,
I'm trying to, there was a discussion at our meeting a couple weeks ago about trying to find the cost per sport. I know Chris Sullivan specifically was talking about golf, and my goal with this was to get a directionally correct number, a range. So like, Chris, is golf $1,000? Is golf $1 million? I can say with a fairly high degree of confidence that the cost of golf for the school should be somewhere between $7,000 and $9,500.
okay.
That's
So
my goal, is
Oh,
not to get to an
I see.
exact.
Transportation's not in this,
Transportation is not in the operating
Yeah.
costs, it would be in the programmatic costs.
and I don't wanna respond, but I do wanna caution you before we get too far with this spreadsheet, that, I actually did this last year with this, and some of the numbers, are not accurate as far as what the reality was. And I too found a lot of repeated numbers.
And that's why I requested the
Yes.
full master data
Yep.
and the general ledger account, and I'm happy to go through that and
Yep,
help get to that
yeah, so just like,
constructively and quickly, because we want to have this done.
I just wouldn't take these numbers as,
I never intended it to be
Okay.
the gospel.
No, but thank you for this. Can you send me where you found that, cause it's not in my drive when I look at it.
Yeah,
'cause
I'll
it's-
find it. And if you have any comments, I'm gonna be listening, I'm gonna throw my headphones in.
Okay.
But I do have kids cooking stuff at home.
Different Zoom.
Cooking.
All right, is that?
Look at
what-
Facebook,
Yeah,
right?
it's on Facebook,
It's on
okay,
Facebook.
thank you, great.
Thank you, Matt.
All right, thanks.
Thank you, enjoy your brownies.
I'm gonna wait for them first, then, they're Ghirardelli, they're awesome.
Good evening. My name is Chris Falbach, 469 Sunny Hill Road. And I do not have handouts tonight, but I'm here tonight to speak about both middle school athletics and the Lunenburg athletics more broadly. As many have stated, education is about more than academics alone. Athletics are an integral part of the educational experience. Sports build teamwork, discipline, leadership, accountability, and school pride. For many students, putting on a Lunenburg uniform is one of the most meaningful parts of their school experience. Following the failed override, middle school athletics were eliminated as a budget reduction of $14,415 from roughly a $29 million budget. Since that decision was made, a growing number of parents and community members have come together with a shared goal: preserving these opportunities for our students. Community members have already begun making financial commitments and are prepared to fund this gap if an approved path forward can be identified. Community members have asked straightforward questions regarding the actual cost of middle school athletics and the process required to apply community-raised funds towards these programs, yet the answers have been inconsistent. As a result, the community still lacks a clear understanding of both the financial picture and the path forward. And based on information shared publicly, there are also legitimate questions regarding the actual financial impact of middle school athletics on the district. Available data suggests that user registration fees may exceed the known costs of operating these programs, suggesting that middle school athletics may generate net revenue for the district. If accurate, this would mean the district eliminated programs that were operating in the black. We are not asking the school committee to solve this problem alone. We are asking for accurate information and a clear path forward so that we can help solve it. To move this effort forward in time for the upcoming athletic season, the community is requesting 3 things by mid-July. First, a detailed breakdown of costs and revenue for each middle school sport, including transportation, overhead, administrative expenses, and user fees. Second, guidance on the process required for community-raised funds or donations to support these programs. And third, a commitment to work with the athletic directors, coaches, and schedulers to restore middle school athletics for the upcoming school year. This is a solvable problem if we work together. Finally, I want to address the future of athletics and extracurricular activities in Lunenburg more broadly. The school committee has recently stated that looking ahead to next year, and I quote, "All extracurricular activities, including all athletics, will be on the table for future reductions, and that would result in a full dismantling of Lunenburg schools if the district's financial challenges persist. If the district leadership believes these programs may be at risk, the community deserves to know that now." All right, thank you.
My name is Nikki Janot. I live on 111 Locust Road. I am the president of the Football Boosters, and I'm here tonight on behalf of the boosters and the football program at the high school, and also the head coach who just had a baby a couple days ago and who isn't able to be here tonight.
The baby's
Yeah.
here.
She's beautiful. Okay, the first matter is a little more straightforward. Casey, the head coach, put in a request to the athletic department to purchase 5 new helmets earlier this spring. We currently have more heads than we have helmets to put them in, and we haven't heard whether this was approved or denied. If it was denied, which is probable given our financial predicament, we're hoping to get permission to purchase the helmets out of booster funds, which we understand we need permission from school committee for now. The second matter is a little bit trickier. I'll preface with some background. I think obviously we're all aware that transportation to and from away games has been cut from the athletic budget. The football boosters would like to fund one-way transportation to away games and have families bring their players and equipment home, which we've been told may or may not be a violation of Title IX because there isn't a female team with enough funds to purchase transportation. However, it is our understanding that 2 minibuses were purchased by the district to help provide transportation to and from away games. These buses aren't a reasonable option for the football team given the number of athletes who travel and the amount of equipment they require. With that in mind, any question of inequity stemming from football boosters funding alternative transportation should be settled because the minibuses aren't a viable option for us, and they are a viable option for many of the other smaller teams. Not all of the teams, but many of them. So I guess our asks are first and ideally that the athletic department purchase the 5 helmets for the program, but if they can't or they're not able to, we have permission to purchase the helmets from boosters. And also that we have permission to fund transportation to away games, which comes to about $1,500. I'd also like to add that I was on a Zoom a couple weeks ago with several other booster people and you all, and it was kind of briefly stated that that football is one of the wealthier programs, more wealthy than the other programs in the school. And I respect that people believe that, and I understand why, but we have more money because we work our tails off fundraising at every available opportunity. We do 50-50 at every game, we sell merch at every game, we latch on to any fundraising opportunity we can. And we don't get $1 for admissions to the football games, we don't get $1 for concessions at football games, we don't see any of that money. So we're basically just asking to spend our money that we work really hard for in a responsible and meaningful way for our program. Thank you.
Do we have anyone on Zoom?
We do not. We have one person, but their name is not announced.
Cool, okay. We should, hold on, I wanna check in with Renee and make sure there's no people on the stormwater task force. No, I'm getting text, yeah, I'm getting text about it, check Facebook. There's people who can't get into the meeting. Just,
On Facebook.
they didn't check Facebook, they're just trying to get in.
Okay.
Guys, sorry, bear with me a second.
Yeah, Chris Sullivan's wife's trying to get in.
Yeah, this is, I'm really sorry, yeah. The thing about Zoom is that, oh, I should have read the thing, I should read the thing. I'm gonna do that now. In accordance with the requirements of open meeting law, please be advised that this meeting is being broadcast at a later date over the Lunenburg Public Access Channel. There is a Zoom link on Facebook, and the meeting ID is found on the agenda, although it's probably different. This meeting will be broadcast at a later date through the local access cable channel and on the public access Facebook page, which can be found on Lunenburg Access YouTube channel within 24 hours after the meeting. The agenda lists all topics which may be discussed at the meeting and those reasonably anticipated by the chair. Votes may be taken as a result of these discussions. Not all items listed may be in fact discussed, and other items not listed may also be brought up for discussion to the extent permitted by open meeting law. And with the Zoom, and the way it works is that in-person meetings are the meeting, and that Zoom is extra, and if the Zoom is not working, we still have the meeting. So my apologies to people who don't know about the Zoom. Okay.
We can tell our friends that it is on Facebook, the Lunenburg Public Schools Facebook. There is a new link there, so tell a friend.
Okay, we're gonna do chair's report now.
Ooh, can I make a?
Oh, you can make, yeah, public
Sure.
comment from the board.
Yeah, so, I was unfortunately unable to attend the booster meeting. It was on the day of my son's birthday.
That's a
So,
good reason.
I went to his birthday instead. I wanna make sure that that as we go through these discussions, that everybody keeps in mind that a solution that only solves one of the problems is not going to work. And that if we solve a problem for one sport without considering the legal implications for other sports, all we're doing is inviting costs related to litigation. And those kind of costs would be huge, and they would be very difficult to sustain, and they would not necessarily go away within a single calendar year. And so if sports and booster organizations are trying to help solve a problem, which it sounds like everybody wants to do, we need to make sure that it's not just a numbers thing, that it's also a legal thing, and that we work together to make sure that as much as we can comply with the law. The one idea would be to pair the sports. So like obviously, if you have a shared interest and a shared facility and shared officiating, like boys and girls basketball, that would be a natural pairing. Some sports don't have necessarily natural pairings, and some sports are automatically Title IX compliant. But it would be really problematic and really sad if everybody puts all this effort in and then it all gets washed away because we didn't comply with the law. Now, the law may change, and Title IX has some real issues ahead of it, but as it currently stands, it's the law of the land, and I think that solutions have to be mindful of those legal requirements, otherwise we just spend money that will be taken away by lawyers, which I don't wanna have happen. So that was my only thing that I would have added had I gone to the booster meeting. And I think that, you know, it's helpful to have the numbers, and it's helpful to have the money, and it's very helpful to have a desire to work together, but it's gotta be something where we pair that effort with compliance with the law. And I think we just gotta think about compliance with the law.
She's good.
Excellent.
Like,
That's
she's
pretty
got
good.
handouts too. Everyone's up in their handout game.
Okay, how's that?
Can I just
Yeah.
say one thing? I just want to apologize that I came in late. My son was in a all-star baseball game.
Yeah.
They won.
Yeah, okay.
So, and actually they had good pictures, so I got to see the whole game. So, and then I couldn't call it on Zoom because,
Yep.
so.
Thank you for coming.
But I'm here.
Okay, Emily, you got anything?
Nope.
Okay. All right, chair's report. First of all, it is officially the end of the school year, so thank you very much to Dr. Fortuna for her first successful Lunenburg school year and for getting us through this very difficult year. So thank you, I very much appreciate it. Congratulations.
Thank you, very excited to be here.
Okay, for now, for the foreseeable future, the school committee will be meeting here in the media room at the middle high school. The town hall meeting room is sadly not in reality handicapped accessible. There's serious accessibility concerns with that meeting space, and we can meet here, so we will. I understand this makes it more difficult for some people to watch the meetings remotely via public access, and I am very sorry about that. You can still watch our meetings via Zoom when it works, and the recording of the meetings will be available the next day on the Lunenburg PAC YouTube channel and Facebook. And just a plug, this town needs meeting spaces that are accessible to all members of the public, and all meetings should be taking place in handicap accessible places that don't require a terrifying, outdated, ancient lift to the second floor. We're gonna talk about this later in the meeting. It's our last agenda item, so I wanna state up front that I will be asking the committee to vote to ask for a special town meeting as soon as legally possible, once we have the final conference committee state budget, which might be by Friday.
I don't think it's gonna happen this week. The governor asked the legislature to file a 1/10 or something. I talked to a few people in the legislature. They're expecting hopefully next week though.
Okay.
So we might have a number next week.
No rush.
Also, there was new snow and ice money that the town got. So,
Wow.
Oh, well, that's nice.
yeah, so I wanna bring that up as well.
It's
Because
looking
we-
very
I'd like some
likely
of that.
that the state legislature will be sending us extra Chapter 70 money specifically to address the statewide ongoing education funding crisis. This money, as Chapter 70 funding, is intended for public education in the schools. 35% of the entire school budget in Lunenburg is covered by Chapter 70 funds, which are dispersed to the town but intended to go towards education. And I would like to ask that we have a special meeting to reopen the FY27 municipal budget once the state has finalized the number, and that we allocate all of that additional Chapter 70 money to the school budget.
I'm so moved.
Well, we're not there yet. It's on but I wanted to talk about it at the top of the meeting because it's at the end of the agenda. And we'll talk about more about that later in the meeting. Just wanted to let you guys know that's coming. Also, things are going to be hard next year. That's not news to anyone. They're gonna be very hard. They were already hard this year. This was not an easy school year because of the cuts that we had to make the year before. But this next upcoming school year, things are going to start breaking. I am really sorry. This affects my kid too. Many things that you as a parent, or you as a citizen, or you as a student care about will be affected negatively. Many other things that may not affect you personally, but affect other people in the town will be impacted negatively as well. I understand the urge to try and save specifically the things that matter to you. I really love the energy to try and make things better. I love the way our community continues to try. I love that we keep trying even in such adverse conditions and we don't give up. That's what it takes to change the world, is a group of committed people working together to bring about the change they want to see in the world. But I want to make really clear, as school committee members, it is our job to see the big picture, to take in the entirety of the system and to look out for all members of the system. It is our job to keep an eye on the main goal and our core mission, which is educating children and preparing students for the best possible future for each and every student. That is our job as school committee members. So I understand, and I especially understand as a parent, the impulse to fight precisely for what matters personally to you and your child. I don't ever want to stop anyone from advocating for your children, and you should be very proud that you are good advocates for your children. But please just know that sometimes there are going to be important, critical things that may not be as popular or have as many or any advocates, but are still vitally important. My example for that is toilet paper. No one is lining up to advocate that we buy it, but we really need it. It's something we have to spend money on. It's not visible, it's not something you think about, it is an expense. But there's nobody advocating for that. And it is our job as school committee members to look at the big picture and keep the big picture in mind. And I also want people to be cognizant of administration time and our staff time as we are facing such a dire gap between our needs and what we have. Requests are gonna take longer. We're not gonna have everything. Certain things you ask for may not exist or cannot be created because of the time. We are focusing on the core mission, and we do not have enough personnel to get everything done. So it is important that we together, collectively, as people who want to improve things, who want to maintain quality schools in Lunenburg and all that that means, it's important we keep our eyes on the big picture and not turn into infighting over specific programs or issues. The big picture, adequate school funding for the entire system, is where your efforts are gonna do the most good. Continuing to engage the select board, send emails, go to meetings, advocate for the schools, run for office, go to meetings, twice because it's important. Make the phone calls, email your state senator and state rep. Be a fierce advocate for every kid in this town and making sure that everyone is getting what they need. Okay, that's what I got. Up next, we have the student representative is not here, so we're gonna go to review and approve minutes. Did everyone have a chance to look at the minutes?
Yes.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the regular session minutes?
I was not here for one, so.
I think we can still just vote on them.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as proposed.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, so can I get a vote on all in favor of approving the minutes for 4:15, 5:6, 5:20, and 6:3:26? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay.
One abstention.
Abstain? Okay. All right, minutes are approved. Tri-board minutes of 1:12, 1:27, 3:10, 26. Can I get a motion to approve those? We'll just do them as a group.
I will make a motion to approve the tri-board minutes.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor, or any discussion?
Nope.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye for me,
Abstain.
opposed, and abstention.
One
Okay,
abstain.
one abstention. Motion passes. Okay, review, and here's the fun part. Review and approve line item transfers, warrants, and donations. We have warrants, and it's not on there, but we do also have donations.
Yes, we have one donation.
Okay, come on up, Chris.
Well, we're waiting
Oh,
for
is
Chris
this-
to come up, I'll do the donation.
Okay.
We have one donation from the author visit to Turkey Hill Elementary School in the amount of $196.56. And that check will be deposited per your approval in the gift account for
Okay.
Turkey Hill Elementary School.
And what was the author visit? Was it when they came in?
Yes, the author of Taco and Pizza
Ooh.
came in, and it was a very successful event enjoyed by the students at Turkey Hill Elementary. And I am blanking on the author's name right now.
My son is so mad he missed that.
Oh, my
This is
kids
like
love that
The
book.
biggest celebrity there could be.
Yeah, it was really cool.
So cool. All right, can I get a motion to accept the donation of,
I'll make a motion to accept the donation.
okay,
I'll second.
all right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstention? Okay. The motion passes, so we'll sign that and get that down to you guys.
Excellent.
We all have to sign this. And thank you. Okay, yeah, I definitely did not do that in the right order, but you can figure it out. Okay, now we're doing,
Transfers.
yep, we're gonna do the line item transfers. Do you wanna take that away, Chris?
Sure. So there's 4 line item transfers tonight. I'll start off with the first one. The first one is to cover salary line items that are in deficit with the salary reserve account. And we're transferring $90,769.62 from the salary reserve account to, I won't read them all, but the below 13 accounts.
Like mostly substitutes.
There's most of them. So mostly substitutes, yeah.
Long-term subs,
Long-term
guidance
subs.
secretary. What is
So for-
Insta-Serv Director, INSTR?
Instructional Service Director, so
Oh.
it's,
Dr. Sark.
Dr. Sarkis line.
Yeah, we moved that, because we don't wanna be paying salaries off of grants anymore.
Yeah, no, it's fine, I just didn't know what
Which
No, the reason that that line was over budget was because the former person, when they left, we had to pay out their vacation time.
Yeah,
So.
so we had to cover that money.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of substitute going, okay? That's the first one.
The second one is to transfer funds from athletic transportation to cover athletic dues and fees overage, and we're transferring $9,670.45.
So that was money we budgeted to transportation, we
Yeah.
didn't spend, now we're gonna spend it on dues and
Dues and
fees, like game fees and those
Yeah.
kind of things. Associations.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
But not the fees related to MASC.
No, it's
No,
athletics.
no.
That's
Okay.
different. This is
Athletics,
Alright.
that's all
I just wanna make
Do we
sure.
vote on these as a package, or do we have to vote on them one at a time?
I think we would vote on them as a
Okay,
package.
excellent. Just wanna make sure we went too far.
The next one is to transfer funds from equipment reconditioning to cover new equipment overage, and that's in the amount of $1,316.94.
That one tells a story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the last one, it's just to move a portion of Patty McCarthy's Gillette salary to the extended day line,
mhm.
and it's $35,400.
And that's money we get as a grant
Correct.
that we paid out through a salary.
Yep.
Okay.
Why is the
Chris, on
salary?
this one, I think there's a transposition.
Which,
It looks like from the original budget, we're taking 35,400, but the transfer amount's only 34,500.
Yeah, there, it is a transposition.
can I
I'll-
correct that on the sheet
Yeah,
we're signing
You can
and
fix
just?
that.
And then can you tell me why this one's so negative, the salary resolving fund?
So the salary resolving fund.
Revolving fund,
Oh, the
sorry,
revolving
I'm sorry,
fund.
the salaries revolving fund, it says revised available, negative $208,000.
So I'd have to look into that, but I can get back to you on that one.
Okay,
Um,
just seems like I shouldn't say that.
yeah,
It's, keep in mind, it's just the revolving fund salary and.
it's not the balance on the revolving account.
Okay,
Like it regularly goes up and down.
Do we move money into that as it becomes encumbered? Is that how that works? Or
Say that again?
do we move money into the salaries revolving funds as it becomes encumbered?
Not typically.
Okay, I'll ask more questions about that later. Okay, and that's it for us?
Transfers tonight, yeah.
Okay,
I make a motion to accept the transfers
as outlined by Chris.
as outlined by Chris.
A second.
Okay, any discussion? You guys got any more questions? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Opposed, abstained, okay, motion passes unanimously. All right, I'm gonna hand that down to you guys in a second. Do we have to vote on the encumbrances?
For, yes,
Okay, then this isn't in our
it
packet.
is not in your packet, which is my fault.
No,
which is
that's
what
okay.
happens
All right,
when
so I
it's-
have a physical.
My list isn't here.
Yeah.
Hey, I get it, I'm not just.
People are allowed to
Yeah, no.
take days off, and if we fall apart because of it, that's on us. People are allowed. Okay, so these are the encumbrances that we're gonna carry forward. Chris, do you wanna briefly explain what an encumbrance is for the public?
Basically, it's just money that's set to be paid out. But on the encumbrance sheet that you have before you, I believe the largest encumbrance we have is for transportation, and that's for the month of June. We just haven't received the invoice yet.
Yep, so we got the buses and Dee just hasn't billed us yet, but we
Yeah.
will have to pay it when it comes in, even if it's the end of the year, so that's what this encumbrance is.
Correct.
And they're outlined here, you can look through them, and I'm gonna send it down to you guys, and I think those are all the big ones, and some of them are just really small, like we knew.
Yeah, like there's one for like $803 for the Sentinel, and I won't.
Yeah, and we will get these bills months from now, but we still need to pay them when they happen, so I'm gonna pass that down, and can you also do something else I had you signing? This one, I think.
Toby is.
Oh.
Yeah, this one.
Bring it in.
Hold on,
I
there's one
know.
more. When I give that to him, okay, so one of them has the line for you guys, just make your own line at the bottom. Liz wanted us to all sign it.
Yes, I believe there's actually a note on that telling me to put them in the folder.
Yeah.
This is the chair.
She's so good. Like,
She's so good.
here you go, this one too.
Okay.
All right, moving on. And warrants were in the amount of $515,921.28. And that you don't have to vote on, okay? And superintendent's report, your time to shine. Thank you very much, Chris.
Good evening, everyone. As we close out the year, I wanted to provide a few updates on some key areas we've been focusing on. It's been a busy and productive stretch, and I'm excited to share some of the progress we've made. Transportation update, new vans. First up, a long-awaited update on our transportation needs. I'm happy to report that we have a successful bid for our new vans. We are currently waiting on the state contract, and after receiving that, we will be able to execute quickly to meet the spending deadline of June 30. We are fervently hoping, but the state has been working with us, and we should be able to do this. The great news is that with the funds we have available, we'll be able to purchase 2 new vans. Even better, we'll have enough left over to cover driver training, registration, and insurance. Because these vans are being manufactured to order, we won't see them on day one. They are expected to arrive shortly after the start of the new school year. We're managing the interim period carefully, but this is a major step forward for our transportation capabilities. Facilities earmark and improvements. On the facilities front, we received some fantastic news. We've secured an additional $175,000 in state earmarks for FY27, specifically for facilities improvements. This gives us a great opportunity to address some necessary upgrades. We are still finalizing the complete list of projects for these funds. However, I can confirm that one of the priority projects will be making the main doors at the central office fully handicapped accessible. We will share the full list of planned improvements once it's finalized. Current anticipated projects include the ADA bathroom sinks at Turkey Hill, interior and exterior doors at Primary, add a DMP antenna to remotely control security systems, don't ask me what DMP stands for, at all schools. The JACE upgrade at Lunenburg Middle High School, that's the brains of our building management system, which allows us to closely monitor the heating and cooling. The generator install at Primary, you may recall Chris talking about using the generator that's currently at Passios and moving it to Primary. This would allow us to do that work. A fan replacement in the hallway and gym at the primary school, the installation of new gym lighting at Lunenburg Middle and High School, and lift rental / lift purchase. This list is subject to change. One of the other things that we're looking at possibly are portable air conditioning units for Turkey Hill. It was extremely hot upstairs during the recent heat wave, and as we know, it can be very hot through the month of September when our students are back. We have a couple of different options, but that's something we'll discuss more as a committee when the time gets closer.
Can I ask you about the door at Turkey Hill? The one that's like, doesn't open next to, like, where Alicia sits.
Oh, that's already being fixed this
Okay,
summer. That's one of
excellent.
our
I,
summer
that's one of the
projects.
things I,
Yeah,
it just looks horrible.
Yeah.
It seems very,
no, that is going to be fixed this year. It's
Excellent.
a summer project.
that's great, thank you. I didn't know if that needed to be on that list or we already had something to pay for it.
Already have funding.
It's not so much done last summer, this summer's gonna be fun too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. Leadership and staffing updates. Moving on to personnel, we have some exciting news to share regarding our leadership team. I am thrilled to officially announce Karma Toussaint as the new assistant principal at the middle school.
Woohoo!
As we all know, Karma brings wonderful experience and energy, and we are so glad to have her in this role. Karma will be filling the vacancy left by Rob McGrath as he takes over the principalship of Turkey Hill. In addition, we have hired 2 new to the district assistant principals, Caitlin Agnulu at Turkey Hill Elementary School and Annalise Viola at the high school. Annalise is filling Karma's position, and Dr. Cormier also retired with Mr. Yvonne this year.
Okay.
We are also actively recruiting for several important halftime positions, a .5 athletic director, a .5 athletic trainer, and a .5 high school assistant principal. The searches are well underway. Currently, we have strong interest in a few of these roles. We have 15 applicants for the athletic director position. That number, I believe, is at 17 as of today. We have 5 applicants for the assistant principal position. We currently have 0 applicants for the athletic training position. Given the 0 applicants for the athletic trainer, we are actively exploring alternative ways to recruit for that specific role. In the meantime, I am working closely with Dr. Mancini to develop a comprehensive plan for how athletics will operate and be supported when the season starts up again. We are committed to making sure our student athletes have what they need for safety. Booster Club guidance and Title IX compliance.
I'm sorry, Dr. Fortuna, I missed something about, so you said you had 17 applicants for the
Athletic director.
athletic director,
Correct.
5 for the halftime assistant principal?
Yes. Yes, we have,
That's interesting, that's something I wanna talk about later, just cause I'm wondering with some extra money, whether we wanna try to make that one full-time.
the number of applicants doesn't always indicate the quality of the applicant.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but just also the idea that someone being a halftime assistant principal is kind of strange to me.
Yes, it is. It is.
So, but
So
I mean, I know why, I know we have finance issues, but,
Mhm.
that's just an area I was,
Is our reputation affecting our ability to hire?
And I think that some people, especially a half-time assistant principal, would approach cautiously any district that is using a half-time assistant principal because it is such an unusual model to use. So I think that is definitely impacting the number of applicants that we do have for that position.
and have you thought at all about trying to recruit for someone like Shanina was doing, or no? We just think that we really need to split that job
Those
into-
positions need to be split.
I mean, that's
feel-
fine, I trust
yeah.
your instinct, I just think we should make sure that the public knows that, you know,
Yes.
that's,
Mrs. Burns was uniquely able to do both.
Yeah.
That is not something that really exists elsewhere.
I mean, I totally trust your instinct on it, but I just wanna make sure that, you know, we are transparent about what, you know, about what we're,
Yeah.
For the sake of the high school,
Yeah.
we can't recombine
Yeah.
those positions,
That's fine.
given the functioning of the school.
yeah, okay.
Booster Club guidance and Title IX compliance. As part of our ongoing athletic planning, we want to ensure our booster clubs have clear, consistent guidelines to support their generous efforts. We will soon be sharing a comprehensive document with the boosters, which I handed out to each of you tonight. It actually has been shared with the boosters to outline these processes. A major focus of these guidelines is ensuring equity across our programs. The specific factors used by the Office for Civil Rights, OCR, to evaluate Title IX compliance in the aggregate is the athletic programs are as followed. Whether the selection of sports and levels of competition effectively accommodate the interests and abilities of members of both sexes, the provision of equipment and supplies, scheduling of games and practice times, travel and per diem allowance, opportunity to receive coaching and academic tutoring, assignment and compensation of coaches and tutors. You can see this also applies at the collegiate level. Provision of locker rooms, practice and competitive facilities, provision of medical and training facilities and services, provision of housing and dining facilities and services, and publicity. Under OCR guidance, the school district need not provide identical benefits and services to boys and girls programs, but the overall effects of any differences must be negligible. Title IX does not literally require equal funding for teams in the same sport or the same benefits, such as equipment or transportation, for teams in the same sport. But if the overall effect of funding shows a disparity based on gender, there's a substantial risk of liability. One-sport booster clubs create the biggest risk, whereas multi-sport booster clubs create less risk due to the opportunity available to teams of both genders. For example, if the football team receives transportation to away games and none of the other sports receive it, the argument could be made that there's no equivalent girls program and that none of the other programs, boys or girls, receives the benefit. But this means that literally no girls programs gets transportation to road games or events. If the analysis shows that girls teams uniformly lack updated equipment or facilities, there is a risk of violation. Overall, it depends on whether any female teams will receive transportation from boosters and how they fare with the other factors compared to boys' teams. To give you a preview of how we are managing these requirements, our upcoming document, which has been sent out already, will clarify the following protocols regarding donations and activities. What must come before you: cash donations and grants. Any direct financial donation made to the school, the athletic department, or a specific team's student activity account. Safety equipment, for example, football helmets. Any protective gear that carries significant injury liability or requires ongoing district-funded safety recertification. Transportation and travel. Funding for charter buses, school buses, or off-campus travel, which requires district vetting of vendor insurance and triggers strict Title IX equity reviews. Coaching salaries and stipends. Funding for additional coaches or staff. The money must be donated to the committee, which then pays the coach through district payroll. This will be a change in practice, I believe, from what has happened in the past with some sports. Capital improvements. Permanent physical alterations to school property, such as scoreboards, dugouts, locker room renovations, or field lighting. Major equipment purchases. High-value items that become permanent inventory, such as pitching machines or athletic training carts. Gifts that increase operating costs. Donations that require the district to pay for future maintenance, software subscriptions, or electricity. What does not have to come before the school committee? Routine fundraising event approvals. Car washes, merchandise sales, and dine-out nights managed by the superintendent, principal, or athletic director. So those aren't managed by the school committee.
Can I ask a question about that really quick?
Mm-hmm.
So if we have to approve cash donations though, and we don't have to approve them fundraising,
Correct.
doesn't that seem kind of?
It does,
So if we're
but
not-
that's how the rules work legally, is that they can fundraise, but any donation needs to be accepted by you.
Because sometimes they fundraise for things that are not within our.
But they can buy these things
Like
without
the
us,
things they
Got
can
it,
buy.
okay.
is my understanding of
Yes.
this, right? Like they
I mean,
can have a
I'm
banquet.
guessing we're not gonna not accept
Yes.
donations, but I just.
We might
it
not
seems
if it's
like
a Title IX
weird-
violation.
Yeah.
I'm
It just
very
seems like
worried
a
about the Title
strange-
IX violations
yeah.
already, which feels very mean, but we have to be very careful to make sure that it's equally balanced.
Can I just ask though, like, if we're gonna have vans that are driving certain people, certain sports, is that gonna be a Title IX violation?
So it could be depending
Potentially,
on.
if we.
Right, because like
If
if we
we're not
own,
scheduling them equally between,
Right.
or there's not parity between the girls' teams and the boys' teams'
Yeah.
access to those vans,
Yeah.
then we absolutely, it could be.
so I think one of the things that I'm very concerned about this, and I want to encourage parents to be able to help when they can, and I know I missed the speakers at the beginning, so I'm sorry about that. But one of the things I think we need to be really specific about, and I don't know how we go about this, is there's obviously the idea we don't wanna put more of a burden on our staff that don't have the time to do it, but also with all of this, it feels like we don't want booster clubs going out getting vendor pricing and that kind of stuff, because it's not really their job, right? So how are we gonna accept donations for specific things if boosters don't know how much things cost, they can't give us a specific amount?
Well, because boosters run completely separately from the school district, we're not allowed legally to have any hand in the running of booster clubs. It is actually incumbent upon them to do that legwork.
But we
So-
can only,
But we would be the only ones, because they're not gonna sign the contracts.
No, but like,
No, but if they donated the money to us.
yeah, that's, once they donate the money to us, then we have to follow the law. They don't necessarily have to follow the law.
Right, but are you understanding what I'm saying? If they wanna donate to us, say two booster clubs get together, a girls' team and a boys' team, let's use soccer, for example. The boys and the girls' soccer team start raising money together, and they think they could possibly pay for some transportation. But they come to us and say, how much does the transportation cost? And we say, we don't have the time or the resources to get you a transportation
That's not the
cost.
correct answer. The correct answer is the running of your organization is completely separate from running the school. So we cannot be involved in any financial interest at the inception that the
Until
Booster
they-
Club has,
until they.
until they bring the donation to us.
But how,
How will they
They
know how much
find out how much
money
the
to
bus
raise?
pays.
So
Like
football boosters contacted D-Bus
Yeah,
and
okay.
found out how much just drop off one-way transportation
Okay.
would be.
I just wanna make sure we're not, cause I don't want the, like, helmets or whatever, or gear or whatever, like, are they going out and getting pricing?
Yes.
So the boosters can do that if they wanna buy new uniforms or whatever,
They
and
can
then
get
they
price.
could donate the uniforms to us.
No, they can donate the money to purchase the uniforms to us.
But if they're not the one, if we're not, and then they say the uniforms cost $7,000 or whatever, $3,000.
Then we decide to approve it or not.
If we decide to approve it or not, we're going with their vendor?
No.
No, they would have to use, but they know who our vendor is, Mandy. That would be very unusual.
Well, no, but I mean this though, like maybe they wanna go out and get a better price, like I don't,
No, and I understand what you're saying, Mandy, but legally, we can't be involved in that financial piece of running their organization.
So
We
I don't-
can't give them quotes.
I
Legally,
don't
we
disagree
can't.
with you, I'm just saying these are the kind of questions we are going to get and we
Yes.
should be prepared to answer them.
And that's the answer.
Right, so, but I, as a school committee, right, I don't wanna be in the position of saying no to donations. So,
You may have to be if it's a Title IX violation.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like, if you're running a symphony orchestra and you have some rich donor who comes to you and says, I have a bunch of money, and you're like, okay, once you give us the money, unless it's like specifically allocated or part of a trust, can we, spend it however we want? Yeah, sure. I think that like trying to coordinate like this is problematic for a whole host of reasons. I think that we should be like, raise the money, then we'll figure out if we can use the donation in a way that's productive, and that's just the easiest way to go about it. I mean, raise as much money as you can, right?
But
That's
they
a simple
keep
answer.
their own bank accounts, so
Yeah.
they can just deposit the money if they don't
right,
want to.
but people don't give money to things unless they know what it's paying for.
That's not true. I mean, like, people give money to the symphony orchestra.
They
It's
can
all
have
the
an
time.
intended purpose, and we can say, yes, we're gonna spend it on that, or no, we cannot spend it on that.
Or they
But
can
the
check
money
in-
already has to be raised, is
Or
what
they
you're
can check
saying.
in,
Yeah.
they
But
can,
do you understand what I'm saying?
Maybe they can check in before.
This requires
It'd be one
communication.
phone call that wouldn't require effort, right? It would be a simple phone call, is this something that the school committee would consider? For example, I purposely didn't, given the school committee, we didn't, and given that coach just had a baby, it's probably good we did an agenda,
Yeah.
put it as an agenda item for tonight.
Yes,
But given our budget woes, I and the school committee's previous dispensation on athletic transportation, as well as Title IX concerns regarding transportation, we purposely didn't agenda that item tonight to protect you from having to say no. The helmets are a different, they're different.
Follow up on that, right?
Yeah, we'll follow up on the helmet piece,
Okay.
but I
I'm just trying to help you so I'm not sending people to the new athletic director. So I wanna make sure that
it's one of the reasons to have a full-time athletic director. Like, this year is going to be very tough on whoever takes that position. The plan for coordinating transportation is going to be a huge quagmire that all the research that I've done so far hasn't quite shown me the path forward for how we're going to handle that yet. The cuts to middle school sports, the attention on Title IX, this is going to be a very difficult job this year. And unfortunately, that's the role, and that's that's the role that somebody's going to have to be aware of if they take the position.
It's gonna be tough.
Big picture.
Can I ask a simpler question?
Mhm.
So if they had mentioned that they wanted the football helmets.
Mhm.
So how does that happen? It would become an agenda item?
It would
and we
become
would
an
have to
agenda
vote
item.
on it?
Yep.
Okay,
And they would donate the
Would-
money for us to then purchase the helmets
Correct.
ourselves.
okay.
Yeah.
And
Heads
I-
need helmets.
Yes, heads need helmets.
That's,
I think that like one of the things that makes this seem daunting is the fact that the analysis is not like, it's not tit for tat.
Nope.
And it is also not like, you know, eyeball it. It's something in between. And so like, that means that each decision is gonna have to be a considered decision. And it also means it's gonna be a slow process. And I
Yeah,
think
that's
those
all
people
fine.
and
are-
then each decision is going to add into the previous decision to create the situation, so it's not like a,
Always gonna be
I
balanced.
wish it was as clear as like, if this, then that, if this, then that situation, but it's,
Okay, now I have a more complicated question. How does unified sports fit into this?
So unified sports would fit into it the same way. So,
So if there wasn't enough kids to do a unified track
Mhm.
team, it would also have to be equal,
Yes. Yes.
because no one's mentioned that at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, Title IX rules apply there as well.
that's what I figured.
And the Title IX guidance, I think, Tony, you're right, is murky at best, right? What I have in here is the verbatim reply from
Yeah.
our
Yeah,
attorney. So it's murky at best. I want our boosters to be able to expend their funds in a way that's most fortuitous for our students, while keeping in mind our legal responsibilities. So listening to the Booster Club tonight talk about their funding, right? That they're interested in funding the helmets and the transportation. That's something, we're gonna talk about having a June 29th meeting a little bit later. But that's something that we could, not June, July. That's something we could discuss at our July 29th meeting.
I have one more question. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
No,
You
you
have a
get to
question?
go.
This might be a really silly question, but I only have a son that plays one sport. So does every sport on this list have a booster club?
No.
So wouldn't that just automatically cause a issue?
Depends on the aggregate. So it's not, there doesn't have to be, it depends, is the answer to that. Unless you have a better
So like
answer,
if
Tony.
football, soccer, track, and lacrosse have boosters, but none of the other sports have a booster club, so they're not getting any outside support other than what school can offer, which is absolutely nothing right now. How, that's a huge discrepancy.
Can I just drop in real quick? Okay, so there is an Eighth Circuit case called Ports versus St. Cloud State University. And in that case, the Eighth Circuit analyzed how the state university went about equalizing the expenditures on male and female sports. And the analysis that the courts use, and that case is a good version of that analysis, is called the benefits and treatments analysis. And it doesn't require a tit for tat spending. And it also doesn't require, and it doesn't allow schools to get off by having like a big picture and that's it. What it actually looks at is like, how does this impact people? So, for example, one of the things that you'd asked about was the boosters. So if one group, like let's say, I don't know if this is true, but let's say that like boys soccer doesn't have a booster club. I think they do, but I don't know. Let's say that boys soccer doesn't have a booster club. But because of a whole bunch of other things that are already in place, the benefits and treatment that the boys soccer team receives are not appreciably worse than what the female soccer team gets. That would not necessarily violate Title IX, even if there wasn't a funding. So like, if like we hire an athletic trainer and the athletic trainer is available to all students, then that would be a way in which the benefits and treatment of the boys soccer team are equal to the benefit and treatment of the girls soccer team, even though they didn't have a booster to raise money. And so it's really a question of,
But you're only talking gender. I'm talking about the whole.
that's all
Title
Title
IX
IX
is-
is.
Title IX is
only,
gender.
only is only concerned with the three things are you have to have federal funding, and it has to have an impact on educational opportunities, and the impact has to be based on gender.
Okay.
Does that help?
Yeah, it's.
Not really.
I would like to say, this is
That's
why
fine.
Lunenburg should be adequately funding its schools so that we are not running into issues like this and all children have access without it turning into individual sports and picking and choosing. This is why Lunenburg should be adequately funding its schools. This is why the sports should be in our regular budget, because these are big picture considerations. This is why Lunenburg should be adequately funding its schools, and it's not.
Shall I finish my
Yes,
superintendent's
please,
report?
now that we go way
No,
in
you
the
can
weeds
compare
about the
different,
boosters.
but like football and field hockey might be the same, because field hockey is mostly a female sport, so maybe if they all got together,
Yep.
they
Okay.
raised $5,000,
Yep.
then they came to
Okay.
us and said,
We're
we
gonna-
have enough for, whatever.
Got it.
That's why it said that group boosters are actually better than individual
Right.
Pairing them up
sports.
with
And so
really
my
good-
understanding is, in some schools, there used to be group boosters, but nobody wants to raise money for a group booster, that's just how, I mean, I'm not saying I wouldn't, but that just like,
Well, it's probably a lot
You
more.
do this all the time.
I do, that's why I
Money
know-
for everybody.
but the PTO, I mean, it's one of the reasons the PTO has a hard time getting people involved, because we're a broad organization that supports a lot of different things. And so, there's actually a book about associations and all this stuff. The more specific you are, nobody joins the American Medical Association anymore. They join the American Pediatric Association, just like nobody joins the regular lawyers club, they join the real estate lawyers.
Except it's bullshit with lawyers because we all have to join.
But do you know what I mean, like,
Okay, can we go
Sorry.
back to the superintendent's report?
What does not have to come before the school committee, because we have received several questions about this, routine fundraising event approvals, which we talked about. And
what happens now? Do
What?
they have to get approval?
Yeah, there's a form
I mean, I
that
don't know what it is.
actually goes to the athletic advisory committee,
Yeah.
that goes to the athletic director, and goes to Mr. Santry, I believe.
So how is that not
That is
getting
what's
involved in their operations?
We're
Because
not,
we're approving their
not.
fundraiser,
It's-
because we have a fundraising policy, you're not involved.
It's our admin, but it's not us, the school committee. It doesn't require a vote of the school committee.
We're following our fundraising policy.
Yeah,
But you just said we can't get involved in what the booster clubs are doing, so we're basically telling the
we
booster
can't,
clubs.
the
We can't.
school committee cannot,
The-
the school committee is not Mr. Santry and Jody.
They-
So Mr. Santry could get involved in what the booster companies are
He
doing.
can approve or deny
Yeah, and
fundraisers.
Jody and that.
We approve or deny every fundraiser that happens in the district,
And we have been.
and we have been.
But you don't for
That's a
PTO.
longstanding. What? Yeah, we do.
They do.
No, you don't.
Well, you need to be getting approval then.
Yeah, yeah, we should be.
That'd be so fun.
Okay,
We should be.
end of season benefits.
End of the season banquets.
I would like to see that policy.
It's available on your website if you look under, policies. End of the season banquets, planning, funding, and hosting team banquets or end of the year parties does not have to come before us. Consumable goods and minor items, snacks for bus rides, senior night flowers, paper certificates, or minor apparel that players keep, like practice t-shirts, snacks for bus rides. But you can buy snacks for bus rides.
Good.
Governance and bylaws, the internal management, officer elections, and meeting schedules of the Booster Club. This is what we cannot be involved on, the internal management, officer elections, and meeting schedules of the Booster Club. Looking ahead, as you can see, even as the school year winds down, our work to prepare the district for the fall is in full swing. Whether it's upgrading facilities, improving transportation, welcoming new leaders, or strengthening community ties, we're building a strong foundation for next year. I want to generally thank our staff, this committee, and our Lunenburg community for your incredible support this year. We couldn't do it without you, and I hope everyone has a restful and wonderful summer break. Thank you, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Any more? Thank you for getting the guidance on,
Super
from
great.
legal about this. I know this is gonna be frustrating to people. I understand that. Anytime there is a degree of uncertainty is frustrating to people. Anytime that things are not clearly black and white can be frustrating to people. And yeah, it's gonna be hard if we have to tell people no to donations. Big picture. Did anyone have any more questions?
No.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, adult meal price increase. Does Nadine wanna do this, or can we just read the letter she has?
I move to approve. I read the letter.
Okay, did you guys, we need to, for the public, we
I
need
also
to, Nadine's not on, we don't need to.
Nadine is having trouble signing on.
That's fine.
She couldn't
wrote-
get onto Facebook.
She wrote a lovely letter that explains it very well. We have to charge adults for adult lunches. The current price we're charging will not be in compliance next year, so we need to raise the rate from $5 to $6. This rate will exceed the current minimum requirement, but it should help keep the program in compliance for the next several years, so we don't have to do this every single year, but it brings it just barely over. And this rate better reflects rising food and operational costs. So does anyone have any questions?
Nope, I make a motion to approve.
I second.
Okay, discussion? All in favor? Aye for me, opposed?
Oh, I'm not opposed.
Abstention? Okay,
Sorry.
yeah, don't get.
I'm
Can't
still
wait.
sleeping.
Okay, motion passes unanimously. We will raise the adult meal price increase. Although I'm curious to find out how many people participate in that, but we're gonna move on. FY '26 budget carryover purchase orders, which I believe was the encumbrances we already voted on. So we're just gonna slide right past that into T-ball field at TC Passios. Do you-
Yeah, I can take this and you can fill in.
Yep.
So we have been in discussions with the town and the food pantry on where to locate the food pantry. Currently, one of the suggestions was made to locate it on the TC Passios property. We had concerns with campus safety as well as parking issues due to the fact that and by we I mean Laura and I, given that the food pantry operates at during school hours. So, and that gravel parking lot is used pretty staunchly.
More than I realized.
Yes. So one of the other suggestions, thank you to Town Manager Warren Diamond, that was made was the School Street property where the old primary school was. Currently though, what's happening there is T-ball is playing there. So if the food pantry moves there, it will displace the T-ball program. So the solution that we're putting out today is that there's a big grassy area for T-ball that's kind of in the Passios courtyard. If you go beyond the trees, beyond the gravel parking lot.
Is it kind of like between like where that wing goes out on the left?
Yes.
And then in the back?
Aerial.
Yes.
Okay.
And so the town has very generously said that they will mow that and
Yep.
maintain that because, as you know, Passios is now a town facility.
Yep.
Yeah.
So the availability for the fields and the scheduling the fields would go through the town.
Okay.
At this point. What we would see is some temporary, I met with TJ earlier this week, we would see some temporary fencing go up so that they can help have the students or children in a confined area.
Not zone.
Some boxes for equipment, some porta potties. I gave permission for use of the gravel parking lot because they are operating outside of school hours. You generally don't start practice until 5. And that what they're really looking for is a permanent home. And I said, I can't see a reason to change that until the building is demolished, and given the rate that I'm learning that could potentially happen, I think they'll be there for a little while.
TJ's kids will have their own kids. It'll be his kids' problem.
There are 75 kids in the T-ball program
There
this year,
are.
so there are a ton of kids, and my husband is the vice president.
Oh,
of
is
the-
he the vice president?
Of the committee. So, so I'm glad TJ talked to you. I did ask him about this just because I knew you were, and we had talked about this previously, and they would be happy to be there. So I would like us to approve it if possible, and I mean, I don't even know it's town land, I guess, but you would have to give approval to park in that gravel parking lot. And
The gravel lot and some of it might be stuff that's
Yeah.
ours, cause it's real murky over there.
my mom
So-
mentioned that apparently when I was a kid, that's where the soccer field used to be.
Yep, there did used to be.
That's where I
soccer
used to play
fields.
soccer at.
Dr. Burnham briefly
For
looked
a
into
quick
how
2
to
years.
fit a soccer ball, a soccer field in there. So who's paying for the porta potties?
Oh, the league
T-ball,
pays for all
the
that
league.
stuff,
The
yes.
league is paying for the temporary fencing.
I mean, the league pays for pretty
Yeah.
much everything,
Yep,
because
I
the
just
Parks
wanted to
Department
make-
doesn't.
So this will
Pay
cost
much.
us nothing.
Correct.
They will use our gravel lot, but the gravel lot is primarily used
During the day.
during the day. There's a lot, and during events during the day. And events in the evening that like town meetings and that kind of thing, there's not gonna be a T-ball game during then, and we'll figure it out. So, yeah, thank you to Jennifer Warren Demott for, coming up with this solution and making sure she found T-ball a home and food pantry a home. So this was.
Where's the food pantry going?
It's gonna be.
So the food
the
pantry
old
will be at
primary
School Street.
School Street, the old primary school.
So they're
In
gonna
a
have,
temporary trailer because they need
System.
to leave Passios as soon as possible. So, they will be fundraising
for the building.
because that is going to be, they're gonna be fundraising for the move too, I think, because that's not an easy move and they need to get a trailer.
Yeah.
The original proposal was to put it in the gravel lot, but, I've been creepy and driving by there. We use that lot a lot more than I realized. We have a lot of parking that's going on there, even after the seniors had graduated. And we had no seniors in the building. That lot was still being heavily utilized. And then I happened to drive by during the high school awards, and that lot was entirely full, and there were people still looking for parking. And it didn't make sense to try and schedule food pantry hours at the convenience of the schools. They need to be independent and doing their own thing. So this works. This was an elegant solution. Okay, so this isn't gonna cost us anything else, that's my question, and the town is gonna take over mowing. So does anyone else have questions?
Nope. I make a motion to approve the proposal regarding use of TC Passios for T-ball field.
Second.
Okay, Mandy, you might wanna abstain?
Sure.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain?
Abstained, me.
Okay. So, yep, that is.
My husband's the vice president of the league or something ridiculous.
Okay, so the next thing
Because you know me, I'm
is-
always out being corrupt about T-ball fields. You can put that on Mass Alliance.
The next thing is a July school committee meeting.
What?
I am proposing that we have a July school committee meeting on Wednesday, July 9th. 29th. In order for us to do the rest of the end of the year closeout for the budget. This meeting, Laura suggested earlier tonight, could be fully remote, but it is a meeting that we'll need to hold.
As long as you keep the agenda short, I'm in.
It'll be all financial.
Okay.
It's just,
Segment,
so,
go.
I thought it was July 15th, but
I am asking for July 19th because I'll be at the Superintendent's Association conference on the 29th,
no, I
because I'll be
meant-
at the
I meant
superintendent's.
I thought we had to do all of this by the July 15th.
We do, but we'll be fine to close out on the 29th. Chris has assured me that we would be.
Okay, and then we don't get any issues? and- Okay.
I know
Excellent.
Emily said she couldn't be there, but if I can be there if it's online.
It's
we're gonna
remote
be
and
not
I'm
too
away,
long.
though.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't.
That is okay, you are allowed to do that.
Yes.
You are encouraged to do that. All right. Yeah, so are you guys all okay, mostly okay?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay, as long as we have a quorum, that'll be fine, we can get that done, and,
Why do you look panicked, Chris?
yeah, I don't like that look.
No, I'm just happy.
Oh,
That's happy.
Happy is good, you look
He's an accountant.
You made me nervous for a second there that like it wasn't gonna happen by then. But I'm liking how it's looking so far. We're keeping a good eye on the finances and getting everything squared away for next year. Okay, calendar?
Yes, that is, I believe,
Oh, do we need
is
to
actually in.
vote on it's an action item. Do we need to
Yeah.
vote to add it to the calendar?
Yes.
Okay. Can I get a motion to add the July 29th school committee meeting to our official calendar?
I will make the motion.
Fully remote. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, abstention. Okay, motion passes. So July 29th, and hopefully we'll have a Zoom meeting. Okay, 2026-27 school committee calendar. So in your folders is a draft of our school committee calendar, kind of based off what we typically do every year. We change it from time to time, and I think we moved the budget earlier. No, we're good. Okay, so
I vote to accept the school committee calendar for 26-27.
is there anything else we need to do?
Are you good for having the last meeting be June 16th with the option to call another one in July?
Yeah.
Because we could go the week later if you would prefer, like we did this year.
Yeah, no, I think that works. If we need to move it later, we don't move it later like we did this year, because there was so much, there was so much at the end of the year, it was too much. And the day before the last day of school was not gonna work. We also don't know what June's gonna look like, because sometimes the last day of school will be that, and sometimes it'll be 2 weeks later, so. All right,
I made a motion.
I'll second.
any discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed, abstention, motion passes.
Dr. Sarti is not here tonight, but I believe in your
Yep.
folder,
End of year curriculum report.
there is an end of year curriculum report.
Yes.
So, in the future, when we get the Dibbles reports, can we get the other years too? I didn't-
Yes.
I didn't wanna ask this year, and with the understanding that Dibbles will be different next year, because we do not have one person or one team administering it, it's up to individual teachers, which means the results will not be as reliable. But that is what happens when school's not adequately funded.
I think it's important to have the whole year too.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but I didn't
See
wanna
the
ask
changes.
because it's the end of the year. And I also wanted to say thank you for the, teacher PD days centered around trauma in our students. I thought that was really important and very much appreciated that.
The high dosage tutoring stuff is incredible.
Isn't that amazing?
The data, yeah, I kind of skimmed it today. I'm reading it a little more closely now, but I was really, really impressed by that. And I saw that Dr. Sarti said somewhere you were applying for the grant. Yeah, it's in here. It was included in a supplemental budget, $10 million for the state, I think.
It was.
Read.
Oh, that's fantastic,
So-
because that was effective and we can't really afford it.
Right.
This-
I mean, I don't know that we'll get it again, but at least we should try, right? Dr. Sarti has been amazing, so I know that, Dr. Fortuna, when you said you were hiring a unicorn, I really have found her wonderful, so
We got lucky on that one.
we got lucky, she's really great, so I know she's not here, but.
Dumpster fire and hooks it. I mean, wait.
Okay.
Because these things are interesting, like this is really helpful and it's in real English, which is helpful to me being not a.
It's really, she does a
But
good
do you know what I mean? Like I feel like I actually know what it
Yeah.
means, I'm not.
I was a little concerned about the grade 5,
Which
Yes.
part of it?
the Dibbles.
Yes,
Yeah.
Just because we were so focused on grade 3 and that looks amazing.
yes,
But according to this data, it means
Oh, I
50. There's still 30 something. I can't do the math right now.
Yeah.
But
I
the
got a
grade
spreadsheet.
5 seems to have kind of gone down. a bit.
yeah,
They were also part of the Ignite, no?
No,
They
it
weren't.
was
It was
just
just
primary.
Okay.
it's
Which
so
is-
interesting you brought that up, because I actually emailed Dr. Sarti back when because she sent some of this data in one of her newsletters, and I said, because my son is in 5th grade, and your son, and they went to kindergarten over Zoom, and I emailed her and basically said, this proves that kindergarten over Zoom never worked, because
Never worked.
because our kids are still struggling
Yes.
that grade. So I mean, I know we have minor resources, but any,
Is there anything like the Ignite that could be done for
Them in
fourth and
6th
fifth?
grade?
They're
No,
fourth and
most of
fifth?
it is designed for early intervention.
Because that's when it needs to happen, it needs to happen.
I know,
in
but we
your-
don't
But we're
have,
not giving
we don't
up
have
methods.
intervention.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We don't have enough
this
intervention at
is-
any grade level.
this is why it's so important that we do have intervention, because they need to learn to read.
One of the things that we're doing next year that I probably should have put in my superintendent's report is we're no longer, at grade 5 we will be, but in grades 3 and 4, we will no longer be departmentalizing. Research doesn't show that that is an effective strategy for improving student outcomes.
So that means kids will have just one
The
teacher.
kids will just have one teacher,
Starting
grades
next
3 and 4, starting next year.
Okay.
They, research shows that building relationships at that age is actually equally as important as content expertise. And so that's why we're making that decision.
So they'll just have, stay in one room, there won't be teams, they won't rotate.
Correct, until 5th grade. At
Until
5th
fifth
grade they will.
Which I think helps get them
Ready
ready
for middle school.
Middle school and the way it's gonna happen in middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been very transparent. Henry, my son, had a very hard time learning to read. The only reason he can read now is because he had Nancy Murray as she was the interventionist at the, I'm convinced Nancy Murray taught him how to read during the intervention, not during the classroom. And now he's actually quite a pretty good reader and he likes to read and stuff, and also,
I'm having a hard time remembering, so do we have one interventionist at Turkey Hill currently?
We will have one currently, we will have 0
No.
next year.
We will have 0 interventionists next year at Turkey Hill.
And at primary.
And at primary, we will have 0.
Zero.
We need more than that. We are failing these kids.
I mean, at least primary.
We need
might
more
have
money. It was a necessary cut because we have cut everything we can. We're gonna have 30 kids in a class next year. I don't know what else to say. This is how bad it is.
I mean, it is, I know this is a little bit off, but someone was telling me talking about the other day with me, and I was saying that the schools we are at the point where if our roads looked like our schools, we would have potholes everywhere, and our library would have no brand new books, and our fire department would have no new resources, and our police would have no new police cars. And I know I'm a member of the school committee and I'm supposed to be getting along with people, but that is a travesty in this town. Our children are suffering ways that other people are not suffering.
Yeah.
And
The
that
entire failure of the override.
the
was on
entire
backs
failure of the
children
override.
this year.
And, you know, if the folks that want to talk about school budgets longer, this is the end of the road for the schools taking any more.
There's just nothing we can.
There's nothing more that we can cut, and we need more.
There wasn't stuff we could cut this year,
Right.
to be perfectly
And
honest. There
this
was
is-
the interventionists. We need interventionists.
This is just, I mean, if my kid was in school now and wasn't getting intervention, he would be in 5th grade and he couldn't read. And he would be done with school. He would have emotionally checked out of school because he also has ADHD and he's doing really well. But, you know, I can imagine if it had not worked for him.
So that's
You know.
43% of grade 5.
43% of our students in 5th grade.
43% of our 5th graders are below the benchmarks, are not on track and are below the benchmarks for reading.
So every other
5th graders, which means next year they're going to 6th grade. Gets a lot harder in 6th grade. There's a lot more reading to acquire knowledge in 6th grade. We have failed these kids. We don't have interventionists for them. We
And the
can't
rest of the town
give
is
them
not
what they
suffering.
need.
The rest of the town is not suffering the way our children are. That's period.
Yeah.
That is period, end of sentence. Other departments are getting brand new things and we are getting nothing.
We're getting
And
almost
I
half
have
the
heard
kids.
there is still concern at the town level about the percentage of money that the schools are getting over the rest of the town.
Oh, I'm not playing the percentage.
And that is a travesty that we live in a community where some random number is more important than the fact that our kids can't read.
Yeah, I'm not playing the percentage game anymore. Our kids aren't getting what they need. We're not doing the percentage anymore. need
And we
more
are
next
losing
year.
children. We are losing children. We're going to lose money. And,
Oh, I got a whole thing.
okay, I'm sorry.
So
We have to
year-end
keep moving.
curriculum report. Can I get a motion to, do we have more questions on this?
I do, but
Yes,
I
excellent.
might just ask
Okay,
Kim
yeah,
about it,
okay.
because I don't think it's helpful here.
Yeah.
No.
Bring it up.
All right, can I get a motion to accept the year-end curriculum report?
I'll make a motion to accept the union curriculum report.
I'll second it.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm slow again.
Okay, the
What are
motion
you
passes.
opposed to?
No, I'm
FY '26 quarterly budget report, my favorite.
Yes, come on up, Chris. Chris is going to do the report, but I'm gonna steal a little bit of his thunder because I'm actually very excited about this.
Okay.
On the supply expenses line, you scroll all the way to the bottom of the report, you'll see that we are 99.3% expended in our supplies. which
99.7.
99.7, thank you.
For the year, that's
For the year. So that doesn't happen by accident, that happens because of close collaboration and discussion between the superintendent and the business manager, as well as the whole leadership team. So I wanna give Chris kudos for that, and the committee for kudos for having the oversight that you had on the budget. You saw each of these reports, watching our spending and our comparison year over year. So now I'll let Chris give the report.
Can I ask a quick question
Yeah.
before you, the encumbrances that we voted on tonight, are those in this report?
They are.
Perfect.
So if you wanna take a look first at the expense, budget only, like Dr. Fortuna said, the available budget is $25,513.82. We're still trying to whittle that down to the penny. And then if you take a look at the FY '26 budget salaries only, handout, if you go to the bottom, you'll see an available budget of $2,685,632.23. And then you have to add in the salary reserve, because for some reason the report won't pull it in unless it's a combined report with the expenses. And then we have an estimate of the teacher's salary and the para salary for the rest of the year in the summer. And it shows a net of $211,750,164. And then today I was able to get the numbers for custodial for 6/26 payroll, and that was $27,628.22. So the estimate right now is $184,123.42. And like I said, we're still trying to whittle away at that, do just different scenarios. So if you have any questions on that.
It's great.
But we'll have that handled by the next.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
Can I make a comment? Okay, I want to praise Chris and Dr. Fortuna. We had a budget surplus of $650-something thousand last year. And while this is just one part of the budget, the fact that we were able to spend 99.7% indicates that this is a radical change in how this school district operates in this town. There is no better sign that you are doing an excellent job and that you have done a great job mentoring him than this one little piece. It means that the people in this town know that when they give us money, we use it every single penny, and we do it in a way that is intelligent, purposeful, and transparent. And so I really think that this is a huge, it's a little thing, but it's a sign of a huge change. So congratulations and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
I
thank you.
want to clap.
Yeah, 99.7%.
I mean, I don't know, is that
So much money.
So what are we, I'm just kidding. I'm nervous, what are we anticipating for a surplus off, I know, I'm
So,
gonna hold you to it, cause I know
just
that we
to
still
say,
have.
we're gonna have a surplus. There's a lot of different things we can do right now. We're in a very strong position where we can move money around and make different purchases.
Especially
do
in
certain
situation
things.
next year being so difficult.
So we're in a very strong position right now, we're actually.
And Chris, correct me if I'm interpreting this incorrectly, the most that we would be returning to the town would be $184,123
On the salary side.
on the salary side.
Mm-hmm.
So that is in line with, no,
Previous.
yeah, that's in line with previous 2 years.
It's actually a
And
little
in
lower.
line with other departments.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Well-
so I wanna make clear to people that budget surpluses
Yeah,
in municipal budgeting,
Always happy.
we don't want the other thing happening.
yeah.
We do not want to spend more than the town has given us. That would be very bad. We are never going to spend down to the penny everything, and when you were talking about a budget this large, the numbers look big when they're percentages. And it is difficult to always predict, especially in schools where we are educating actual live human children who have very varied needs that are constantly changing, and it's very difficult to predict. So it is better that we have a surplus. It is typical that we have a surplus. The other way would be very bad. It is not unusual to have a surplus, and other town departments also have surpluses as well.
It's 6/10 of our budget, the surplus.
Yeah.
That's crazy good. That's super good.
Yep.
Yeah, and I don't wanna get ahead of myself, but if I had to guess, it's probably gonna be lower than the 184.
Oh yeah, because we're gonna have a
Where
meeting.
shift money
Mhm.
to the expense side and,
Buy some crayons.
Or maybe some helmets.
Yellow markers,
Okay.
elevator grease.
All right, does anyone have any questions about the numbers on here? If you have super specific stuff you don't wanna ask, you can always reach out to Chris, and he will super happily answer them. Does anyone have any questions? All right,
No?
I get a motion to accept the last FY twenty-six quarterly budget report.
I will make a motion to accept the last FY26 quarterly budget report.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes unanimously.
I think I'm up next too.
It's personnel.
Oh, okay.
You can stay
You
there
can
then.
stay there,
Yeah, I'll
because
stay.
this'll be quick.
So you have a list of new hires and resignations, retirements, and separations in your folder tonight. I'd like to actually run through the list,
I absolutely
just so it's entered orally into the record. So we'd like to welcome Lisa Glenny as a custodian at the primary school. She began her work with us on May 1st of this year. Harley Baker is going to be the new social worker adjustment counselor at the middle high school. Harley will start with us on 8/31. Daniel Carroll is a new custodian at this building. He started with us on 6/1. Caitlin Agnulo is the new assistant principal at Turkey Hill. She'll be starting with us in 7/1, as will Edelise Viola, the new high school assistant principal. Jessica Drozd is our new chemistry teacher from here at the high school. She will be starting with us on 8/31. We've had resignations, I think you've seen this one before. Deluma Braga resigned on 3/27. She was a custodian. We miss all of our people when they leave. Kathleen Hansen, a custodian, resigned on 4/16/26. Ashley Hale, a paraprofessional, resigned on May 1st. Alana Rizzuti, another paraprofessional at the middle school, resigned on 6/18. Madeline Elkins, who worked an extended day at primary, because that's where extended day is located, resigned on 6/18. Quinn Cavaco, a teacher at Turkey Hill Elementary School, his last day with us was also the last day of the school year. He is leaving us for Fitchburg. Jen Hochard, a preschool teacher at the primary, left us at the end of the year. Jessica Russell and Jane Franklin, two of our paraprofessionals, left us at the end of the year. Shanina Burns, our AP/AD, has taken a full-time AP job. She is leaving on 6:30. Walter, our wonderful technician here, who does a little bit of everything for us, is going to school, and
Oh, okay.
his last day will be August 1st with us. Amber Gothy, the special education teacher who did the TLC and Achieve Rooms at Turkey Hill, resigned. Her last day with us will be 8/7. For our retirements, Michael Kudamash, first grade teacher over at the primary school. You may have seen his very sad
Oh my
video
gosh,
on
yes, on
Facebook.
It made me sad.
It made me very sad.
You know, on
Um,
Facebook.
Jane
I just
Dusak of Hoda for the district.
Just
Her last, her last
Did you see
day was our last day of school. Beth Ann Cormier, our assistant principal at Turkey Hill, is retiring. Her last day, that should read 7/1/26. Norm Yvonne, the principal at Turkey Hill, is retiring. His last day is 7/1 or 6:30. Mitch Friedman, the chemistry teacher at the high school, was all done as of 6/18. Patty McCarthy Gillette, Director of Community and School Programs, who we all know did a little bit of everything around here. Her last day is July 1st. Lorene Broden, the Special Services Admin Secretary and the Office of Special Services, to be redundant. Lorene's last day will be September 4th with us. And then our separations, Narcy Woods, a teacher at Turkey Hill Elementary School, her last day with us was 6/18. Nancy Gaines, a teacher at the middle school, her last day was also the 18th. These are all the 18th. Megan Lamacchia and Nicole Senadella, they both worked in our community program, which we are not the grant holders for any longer. So their last days with us were the last day of school.
I'm very sorry to see Miss Woods go. My child didn't have her, but I heard wonderful things about her.
I am sorry about all of that.
And I'm sorry about all of them, I just know that.
It just, yeah, Mr. Cavacco's a real hard one to absorb, because,
Mr. Cavacco was a wonderful teacher. He was the coolest dude, and he was the first person to make me feel really old.
yes.
When I came in for parent teacher conference, I was like, oh, that guy's too cool to be my son's teacher.
I also felt that way, but then was like, oh, he's so competent. Like, at first I went, he's very young, but man, is he competent, and he was.
The kids love it.
It's a real blow to lose him to Fitchburg. I think it really, I mean, a lot of these, is the budget, are our budget woes affecting the staffing as far as
Yes.
people leaving?
Yes, the uncertainty over our budget is
Costing us
costing
great
us
staff
teachers.
members.
Yeah.
I'm very much going to miss, I'm gonna miss all of these people. Mr. C did make me cry with his post.
I just showed these two.
Like, my son never even had Mr. C, and he's sad about it because the silliness won't be there. Like, he brought such a, anyway, I want to express my appreciation for Mrs. Burns. She had an incredibly difficult job last year, and she did it. And that's a hard loss too. I'm bummed about all of these. But I also understand at a personal level why our staff would want to seek out a town and a district that adequately funds its schools. I don't blame anyone for leaving to go somewhere where their job is not constantly at risk. And I said this last year, I said it the year before. We have put our staff through hell. For the past 3 years straight, they have faced layoffs. They have faced uncertainty about their jobs. We have cut so far that people who thought they were safe were not. We have forced the staff through this for 3 years in a row. That is not a good environment. People should not fear for their job every single budget season. We have caused undue stress. We have caused harm. And this is not the way we should be running the school system. I know that, and you know that. but that is what we are forced to do because of the budget situation in Lunenburg, because we are not adequately funding the schools, and it is a shame. So I wanna say thank you to all of our staff, and I appreciate them, and we miss them. Does anyone else have questions? Okay. All right, yeah, thank you to all of our staff. All right, we need to vote to accept that. Can I get a motion to accept that?
I'll make a motion to accept the personnel report for FY '26.
Second.
Oh, second.
Third.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstain? Motion passes. Okay, now we're on our last item, and I'm sure we'll just breeze right through it. Request for additional Chapter 70 funds, which I briefly touched on in my chair's report.
Oh, I make a motion to call for a new town meeting, a special town meeting, so that we can appropriate the new Chapter 70 funds.
So
I want to say not just Chapter 70 funds. I don't think we should just be asking for that.
We can talk about that.
There's more coming from the state than just Chapter 70.
Yeah.
Also unrestricted government aid.
I want to make clear that I would like to ask to reopen the budget, the municipal budget, because I would like these funds to go into our regular budget.
Yep.
So that I don't have to fight for scraps of leftover cash every year, as the deficit between what the town should be funding and what the town is funding and what the town should be funding, that deficit grows every single year.
Mm-hmm.
And the more it grows, the more expensive it gets for us to rebuild the schools back into something you can be proud of.
Yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm talking about reoccurring money, right? This is not one-time money. This is money that comes through the cherry sheet, right? Which the cherry sheet is the number of funding that comes from the state. And the cherry sheet for the Senate budget included an additional $355,000 for Lunenburg in it. So that was across a few different departments. But I believe that the schools are at a massive deficit and should get whatever the difference is between, it's actually $350,000 from the House budget, but we probably the town manager probably built our budget off the governor's proposal. So the difference between those two is $470,000. And there is an argument, I believe we should talk about this. So Chris Menard did tell me I should look at the charges too, so we'll have to do the exact number when the budget comes out. But this is additional funding the state is appropriating to cities and towns because of all the advocacy people have done. So this is not money that could have been appropriated previously. I do not want money that could have been appropriated previously because the town didn't, this should go in the traditional budget process. And it's money that the state is going to be asking for. The thing is, we will not know the exact number until the final budget comes out. For those not familiar with the budget process, July 1st is the new fiscal year. The legislature tends to not meet sometimes they meet the July 1st deadline. I'm hopeful they will meet the July 1st deadline, but there will be 10 days for the governor to veto things. The governor will not veto municipal aid. I mean, I can't say that for 100% certain, but that never happens. I have talked to some people over the last few days. There is some concern so the number could be lower and the Chapter 70 commission could be in the budget. So the thing is, this is I think my understanding of what is going on is the Senate and the House are fighting over whether the Chapter 70 commission will be included or not. The Chapter 70 commission is vital for us to have a future of,
I'm not convinced we're gonna come out ahead in that though. I think.
Well, we have to go to bat for it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing. That is the only way.
Okay.
I don't know, Dr. Fortuna, do you agree? The Chapter 70 formula has to be rewritten for us to get more money. I mean, that's just no.
Yeah, the way it is isn't going to.
I mean, right now, we're spending 120% or 130% at foundation.
And yet we are still at the bottom of the list.
Right.
So Lunenburg spends there's a foundational budget that the state has a formula And it looks at our student makeup, it looks at our town, it looks at what we can, our assets are, and it looks at the student makeup, and it comes up with a number that is our foundational budget, which is what we should be spending.
But nobody spends that.
We legally have to spend that. If you spend under that, you get in trouble with the state. Lunenburg spends over that, like almost every other town and district, and like every other town that's like us, we spend over that. However, we are still, even though we spend over the foundational budget, because the foundational budget is what the state says is the minimum, it's based on a 1993 formula, it is incredibly out of date, and it is not reasonable. If we had to only spend our foundational budget, there would be no more Lunenburg schools, it would just be a bunch of kids warehoused in a giant room. It would not work. But we are still at the bottom of the list when it comes to per student spending compared to other towns, all the other districts and towns, because we are still not spending enough.
So what do we think we wanna do, because we don't have a number? Do
It's
we
hard
wanna
to-
throw out some ideas of what we would wanna spend the money on? Obviously, Dr. Fortuna would have to tell us. I know Dr. Fortuna has some concerns about non-reoccurring funds, understandably.
Yeah, the chapter 70 funds will be reoccurring.
Yes. Well, I don't wanna
so
keep saying chapter 70 though, because the
Yeah.
chapter 70 money is only another 100 grand or so.
Okay, from last year.
So the governor's budget was 9.8 million for Lunenburg, and the Senate number is 10.1.
You're looking at the total.
Are you looking at the
education.
chapter
I'm looking
sheet?
yeah, but I'm only looking at chapter 70, not smart growth, tuition reimbursement, or charter.
Right, so that's only, it's not even enough.
Yeah, okay.
It's not even $100,000, that. I'm looking all the way down the bottom, total estimated receipts.
Yep, so subtotal, all education.
No, I'm
Oh,
looking
you're
all
looking at
the way
everything.
down the bottom,
You
yeah.
wanna look at everything.
I want everything. The reason the
Okay.
town and the schools are getting more money is because people like you and I who've gone to the State House and I'm tired of being nice about it.
I went to the State House too.
I'm really
Yeah,
tired of
exactly.
going
I
to
just think
state
it's
house
talk.
begging. I am so sorry.
Right? Right? I mean,
Next time we'll go and you can take
No.
30 minutes.
So
I'm
what-
just gonna sit there looking grumpy.
so what do we wanna do? So for one thing, I think, but the problem is hiring someone as a part-time versus a full-time is a different thing. Like, I think the assistant principal job at the high school should be a full-time job.
It should, we just don't have the money for it, but I do think we should ask for it. The problem is that by the time we ask for the money.
Right, we'll already have to have hired someone,
We'll
so
have-
that's,
So we can't spend money we don't have, that would not be responsible. Because this is subject to the outcome of a 2/3 vote.
and we could know next week. It's gonna
But we
pass.
won't know how town meeting's gonna vote. Town meeting might not vote to give the schools the money.
Oh,
That's true, that's a good point, I was thinking about the legislature.
No, my concern is that I don't wanna spend money that hasn't been allocated to us. That's
Yeah.
worrisome.
Because when would we have to have town meeting, special town
It
meeting?
has to be in July.
That's on, so no, it's gonna have to be later than that.
Okay.
That's on the select board, because that's not our job. That is their job to get us the money we need, and we're just going to
No, I mean
ask
the
to
date,
please happen.
like, how do we decide
They
when?
That's on them.
They just
set the
pick a date?
We don't get to set the date. We don't get to call for a special town meeting. We can just politely ask them to please call.
But it wouldn't have to go to the ballot, it would just be
No,
doing the
that
budget.
is the
So
benefit
Jen
of it
would
in
have
that.
to
Yep.
Jen would have to increase our revenue estimates because based on this,
Yes,
and then,
I don't think she would. I mean, I think she would just based on this, but I don't think anything else is getting.
that's fine, if we get through, and we have to be able to spend it, and that's a concern I know Dr. Fortuna has had in the past, so.
I have concerns about being able to hire a full-time assistant principal in, say, September.
Right, exactly.
Because of who we'd be able to hire. I do
I
think
mean,
there
the
are
thing
things
is-
we could spend the money on,
Well, we
like
talk about the Ignite
the
tutoring,
Ignite
right?
tutoring specifically is what comes to
Right,
mind.
maybe the 5th grade class that's gonna be in the 6th grade, is there anything else we
Can
could
I,
do?
can I just
Para-
say something?
Yeah.
Maybe we should ask the building principals and the admin team
Oh,
to
yeah.
come up with a list of
Oh,
what
we'll
we should
come up.
spend. Okay.
Yeah.
Cause like, we could sit here and debate
No.
all
Yeah,
day.
no, I agree. I don't
I
think
just,
so.
I just want people watching to know that there are absolutely things that money can be spent on. We are not asking for the money to like throw a giant confetti party. It would be very well spent and there are things in mind for it. But
I hate the money.
hiring is a concern because of the timing. Which is, like with the failure of the override, there were people who said you need to go back and do it again, and I understand why, but hiring became difficult the moment it failed. That was why it was very make or break.
But we gotta move forward, so.
Okay, so you wanna so the plowing money isn't in here.
Now, the plowing money is one-time money, which will go in, which the town is getting another $228,154 for snow and ice removal.
Cool.
So that's one-time money, so Dr. Fortuna, I wouldn't be asking for that, right? But that's a reason to say they're going to have extra money in this estimate, right? Every time we have extra money that isn't budgeted, doesn't it go to free cash? And then the free cash at the end, we spend on,
No and ice is the one thing that we're allowed to go over on, so that's.
so that might be
that's a
something we
slightly-
were negative on, I don't know.
We were negative.
We always are.
How
That's
much were we
No,
negative on?
I don't know, I just know we were negative.
We are negative, yeah, because, but we're getting 220, I just
We're
looked
negative on
it
that
up.
every year, because that's how we do it, that's just.
Right, but
the
we
one
use
thing.
free cash to pay it.
Yes, we do.
So what is the best route of action, because it's 9:06?
How do you wanna, I hadn't considered going after anything but the chapter 70 education money, because that's meant for us, specifically.
And the proposal would be to vote it in as part of a regular.
Yes,
Yeah, that
regular,
makes sense.
reoccurring money.
Makes sense to me.
Yes, because I'm not playing this piecemeal game of here's an infusion of cash to let you limp by so Lunenburg can
Yeah.
pretend that it's adequately funding its schools when they're not.
I think I would make a motion for that. I would amend my motion to make an emotion, to ask the select board to convene a special town meeting where we would propose that the chapter 70 money, whatever it is,
So not just chapter
All
70,
of
because now
them,
I'm looking
yeah.
at the charter too, all education items.
all of the education item money
No,
be made.
all of the money, including the general government aid.
So I don't know how much more is there in government aid from FY '26? That's 100,000.
So we're not looking at the FY '26 number. The budget was built on the FY the
Yes,
town
okay,
budget
I'm
was
sorry,
built
I'm doing
on
it
the
wrong.
on the FY '27 governor's number. You also have to go to the second estimated assessments and charges.
Okay, so it's,
And you have to take the charges off, because that, Chris Menard told me that, which makes sense, because the charges changed. So we made it on the governor proposed Lunenburg at 11,404,917. And then estimated charges were 1,069,000.
what went up so much? Mosquito control.
69.
Love when you pay for the air pollution district. MBTA doubled. We're paying double for the MBTA. Cool.
So I'm just,
And and charter schools sending tuition. Sorry.
okay, so okay, so the town built their budget on Lunenburg getting,
And
wish I had
this number is how much that we're paying to school choice out our kids, right? Okay, so we spend $500,000 roughly on charter schools and $500,000 roughly on school choice for people school choicing out, which I think is going to increase this year based on what people have said.
so the difference is $413,000
Sure.
right now.
Yeah, right now.
Between the governor's budget and the Senate budget is 413,000.
I am of the opinion, I do not know that Ms. MK is of the same opinion, that we could ask for a special town meeting without an exact number, and then we can fill it in
But how
later.
are we gonna ask for
How much
because we
We're
do
not
the
the ones.
we do the budgeting, right? Like the town just gives us the
They just
schools,
give us,
right?
I am asking
a
for
total
just
number.
them to hand me a handful of money, and then we will,
Not literally.
not literally.
Jesus. And that's fiscal.
Yeah.
that's involved.
I am asking for the chunk of money, and then it is up to us legally
To determine
where it
what
is
it is.
dispersed. It would behoove us to have a plan to tell the town, this is why we would like you to vote for it.
Right.
Because here is what we would like to fund. But legally, the amount is what town meeting votes on.
Yeah.
And where those funds are dispersed is what we vote on. That's not how it happens on the town side, but that is how it happens on the school side for a number of complicated reasons.
So I think an estimate of $300,000 is a pretty safe estimate, because that's like not, if for some reason, because in some ways I think I want the Chapter 70 Formula Commission to be in, right? And then then maybe the number might be a little
I'm so sad,
smaller.
that money is not gone like that, like,
What?
that amount of money is, it's a lot of money, but it's also like, it would not restore the teachers.
No, and I don't think that's
Right.
Dr. Fortuna would suggest we do
No,
that,
I know,
so-
it's just, it's.
Right, I mean,
sad.
you're-
No,
no,
and I think we need
but
to
you're
make
thinking of-
it clear, it's not gonna fix the class size issue,
Right.
because it's not enough.
Our two big ticket items, honestly,
Yeah.
what that money would go for, like that,
Mhm.
is professional development for our teachers around literacy.
Yeah,
So that we can expand that K through 12.
Yeah.
And really build teacher leaders and teacher capacity. We
Yeah.
can continue to do that.
yeah,
And Ignite tutoring
Yeah.
is the other big ticket item.
Yeah.
That's really expensive.
yeah, but it worked.
It worked.
I hate that it worked.
I don't think
Don't like
I know
the
you didn't
Zoom.
want it to
I
work.
don't like the Zoom, I don't like them on screens.
But it was
Eh.
short.
But
It was
I saw
short.
the data, and the data, I can't argue with it, it taught
They're gonna
kids
have
to read
screens for
good.
the rest of their lives. It may as well start now.
Yeah, I don't,
I
I
say
don't
that
love
it.
just for that person that.
I would
reached out
like to go
us.
home, so, and I'm sure
Okay.
everyone else at this seat would like to go home.
I
So
think
what
I
do
would
we,
like to just,
what is
yeah.
the plan? So we're
Um,
asking the town to put together a special town meeting to give us a expanded amount of money that's coming from the revised cherry sheet
To
that will
reopen
come,
the budget.
to reopen the budget. Are you gonna put it in writing to send to the select board?
I would like your help with that, so we know how to phrase it, because
Okay.
the
I
legality
mean, I'm
of
not
that,
gonna-
I need to look up how we do that. But I would like to officially ask them to do
Yes,
that.
absolutely.
And that's something that, like, we needed to take a vote on, I can't just call them up and be like.
Is there
"Yes."
ever a situation, Dr. Fortuna, where like more paras or something like that would be something we could want and could use money for that maybe isn't? Well, cause I understand like classroom sizes, I understand, you've already set the classroom sizes,
Yeah.
we're not gonna change that, right? Like more supports, more interventionists?
I think the staffing piece, if we could get them
Yeah.
at that point, would be the interventionists.
Okay.
That would be my priority.
Yeah, and that's fine, I just think that obviously there's a lot of steps between now and then, and I wouldn't want anyone to come in with the expectation we're gonna
Yeah.
hire a classroom teacher with the
Yes.
money, cause that's not gonna happen. But I don't think that it is a fool's errand to try to get more resources to our kids. My kid's only gonna be in 6th grade once, right? And God
That's
willing, God willing.
I would
Right,
also like
maybe.
us, as far as what it's spent on, that's our vote, but I would like us to trust the experts.
Oh, of course, of course.
As far as that goes, cause they know what their needs are, and I'm sure they have a list in their head right now of exactly what they want. So,
Okay, so what you tell us, so you,
I think that 300 is a good placeholder.
Yep.
But,
300,000.
I'm really nervous about the unrestricted government aid, just because,
I mean, we're basically grasping at straws right now.
yeah, fine.
I think all we gotta do is, do we wanna vote to ask the select board to schedule a special town meeting?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
I'm
All in
voting.
favor?
Aye.
Yep,
Do it.
all in favor, yeah.
Good.
Any discussion, any opposed? Okay, and then that's unanimous, we would like to ask them to open a special town meeting as soon as possible, because staffing is difficult. Because we go by the school year calendar, where school starts in September, this year it does. Where school starts the first week of September, and we need to be hiring personnel. So time is of the essence when it comes to hiring quality people. So, do we charge them to use the auditorium? when we
Town
have a
meeting?
special town
No.
meeting?
No.
Okay, good, I'm like, we should not be charging for this, fine. Okay. All right, that.
And as the minute I see the conference committee budget, I will send it to Dr. Fortuna, who can share it with this committee.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thank you.
I have a few people on it already for me.
Okay, public comment for issues discussed tonight. We got Laura.
I got it.
I think I know your address by
Do you
heart.
think, yeah, officially, Laura Virgin, 389 Mulpus Road. A couple of questions, and I came in at just the right time, so sorry I was over at the library for a thing. I did find the fundraising policy that you mentioned. It has been updated since 2019, and one thing that just caught my eye is it does say that families and athletes will not be asked to participate in more than 2 fundraisers per sport per year. So just as the groups are getting themselves organized, much like the, here as president of the Music Gators, that we had a meeting, we talked about fundraising was the major topic of, we do want to work with you guys to figure out what can we fundraise for. Transportation is one item. We also, part of our mission is to provide the schools with the uniforms. We have plenty of uniforms, although I am very pleased we are going to be pushing 30 kids in marching band. That's up from 18.
Nice, that's
We
great.
are
How many?
almost 30.
In
Sarah-
marching.
Ms. McGregor is hopeful that we're going to be
You guys
30
rebuilt
kids
it.
with band and
You
and
did it.
color guard. We are going to need to purchase color guard uniforms. We have different people of different sizes and different shapes and different needs this year. I'm still working on getting information from Mr. Gregor. I can't wait though until band camp at the end of August to order color guard uniforms, or we will not have them for football season. So we have funds, the Music Gators, that's part of our mission. So we have a pool of funds available. We're looking at how many kids, but we will need to purchase those. And I can't tell you when those got purchased 100 years ago, how that happened or what the logistics were. So I need some guidance on, because we're gonna start looking at, hopefully to find something complementary or the same as what we have, so we don't throw out all the ones that we have.
Is July 29th too late?
No, that's probably okay, yeah.
But wait, this is what I'm
But-
talking about.
but we have a-
We can't do this, right?
But we
We can't
have-
give any
We can
guidance.
only take your donate.
We can give the donation, we have the
Yeah.
fund, that's what our mission is
Yes.
to hold this kitty that we have available to purchase.
And then we can say, we accept this
Then-
donation for the approval of
Yes.
color guard.
Right,
But
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 we
we
can't
will-
help them
but I
find
can-
the uniform.
My
No, we're
guess is
gonna-
Laura
Yeah.
will do this.
We are gonna go look and see and find and try to complement the ones that we already have,
Right,
but we
this
will
is-
be moving forward with that, because, again, otherwise we will not have them for the first game.
So that should go
So we need
on
to vote on
comments.
dates and
Okay.
uniforms.
So
Yeah.
email and asked to be on an agenda.
Okay.
Helmets and uniforms.
Okay,
Yeah.
I put that on my calendar when you said it, the 29th, so.
And for all of our booster organizations, that goes for anything that you'd like to donate money for is to email and ask to be put on an agenda. Email Liz Peterson.
L. Peterson at Lunenburg School stuff.
So they would donate the money to us and
Yep.
we would purchase the uniforms.
Yes.
But we can let you know how many we need,
Right.
the type and style, things like that.
The exact place
Yeah.
where to buy them and
Yes.
everywhere.
Because I don't think, we don't have a regular vendor, we haven't bought uniforms in forever, so.
When's the last time?
Liz will know who it is.
I'm sure, but I couldn't even tell you, I don't know. With how many kids we have, the good news is we don't have to buy marching band uniforms, they're all good, and clean, and smell great, and in the closet and everything, but the, we may want some flags as well, I don't know, that's something, we've got some older ones, they've seen some wear, so that may be something as part of it as well.
That was really cool, the band concert, by the way.
So, band concert was
I
great.
was not expecting Color Guard to just start throwing things.
Yeah, they're good. They're really they did fantastic at Chills and Thrills and everything. Like the band's just doing amazing, and the kids are recruiting the new members. I mean, they're really doing it themselves. They're just
The fifth grade,
fantastic.
the fifth grade band did a great job at their performance. My son was in it, and I think a lot of them are
Yeah.
planning on doing sixth
Yeah.
grade. So I don't know, they haven't had to sign up yet, but
I will bring up Kara Hronkowitz at the last meeting brought up school class choice versus like I can be an AP this or I can be an honors that, or I can't do this or can't do that. I will tell you that our juniors are feeling that already and making choices on classes that they can and cannot take. And PE specifically was brought up at the last meeting.
Yeah,
PE, absolutely. Like,
Can we put the?
do we have to vote? on
it's
that?
not gonna change next
so,
year.
yeah.
Oh.
So there's
Alright.
like
What?
having to take two full classes of PE all in senior
I
year.
know, I wish that I
To the
did watch
detriment of
meeting.
not being able to take honors class or AP classes or something in a senior year when you're trying to apply and get into college. I mean, the
Yeah,
size
so
of the
we
PE
decided
class.
we can't do it for next year.
Correct,
So-
because
late.
the
Yeah.
scheduling
So-
and
We already
staffing
voted on the
is already
program.
such
Yes.
that we
So
can't, and the
it's-
schedules are committed.
But I will reiterate the inadequate funding of the school based on the lack of the override is absolutely impacting not just what are the size, I can't even imagine being a teacher for 30 kids in the classroom. God bless them all, because I can't even
Elementary.
begin to imagine that many kids on the spectrum of needs that kids have today. The 5th grade, you know, it's all grades. It's kindergarten through 12th. Our kids are making choices that they're being forced to make choices because we've handed them
Bad choice.
bad choices.
That's right.
They're selecting the least of the worst choices. That's what they're doing right now. So, but anyways, on that, we do want to work with you on what we can do fundraising from a musicator standpoint. And that, there was a couple other that I have in here.
There are no Title IX concerns for music.
No,
Perfect.
we're unitary, everything is, yeah, it's all, yep, everything there. Yeah, and just, like you said, what else, you know, can we fundraise for? I know that there's certain supplies that got cut, things like that. I would ask if there's a tiny little bit of anything, extra funding, is there anything we can do to put the 5th grade band back? It was less than $10,000. Is there anything that we can do to put that back, please?
We have a proposal for Mr. Ballister for a fee-based
Yeah.
program before school.
Yeah.
Excellent.
I think you do.
And I also know that 6th grade jazz that was not discussed, that also was cut.
Mhm.
So if there's anything that we can do about that, that's a stipend, I believe.
Mhm.
If there's anything that we can do as a booster organization to assist with a stipend that's not a salary, I would be very welcome to having a conversation.
Stipend
About
also
that.
salary, right?
Is it?
No, you can fundraise for a
Yeah.
stipend.
If there's something that we can do, we would be very, very interested because
So
that
we
group
could do
is
that?
growing.
And that is.
And we want to make sure that that continues.
Not for band.
So if there's anything there that we can have a conversation, I'd be love to have that conversation, please.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Laura.
Laura, just reach out to ask what the stipend is, and I'll let you know so you know what you're fundraising for.
Thank you.
I do want to make a comment that I have noticed. I have gotten lots of comments from high school parents and high school students about the difficulty in scheduling this year and how very difficult choices are having to be made, where it's, do I give up this activity that I'm very passionate about and probably will be my career someday, that is absolutely what I want to do, or do I take a higher level class that's going to let me into the college I want to go to? And these are decisions that we are asking 14 and 15-year-olds to make, because these are decisions that are very difficult, that are going to affect things down the line. The previous generations of Lunenburg students did not have to make at this level and this dire cuts. So we're seeing that for next year. And I have no answer for that because I know it's hard. And that's just the situation we're in.
Same answer that we always give people. We gotta work together.
We do. Is there anyone on Zoom?
There is not.
Okay, awesome.
We have
And,
3 people watching, but no one has their raised hand, just for
Alright.
clarification.
Did Chris Sullivan's wife finally make it?
What's her name? Just some.
Oh jeez, put me on the spot.
it's okay.
We have 3 people:
Amy, is it?
Aga, Jessica Agut, Courtney, and Marlene Hoagland.
Okay,
Okay.
alright.
She could have joined at some point. Sometimes people join with like
We got
random
points
points.
towards
So.
the end. Okay, we're gonna do reports from subcommittees. Anyone got any subcommittees? They're not really meeting.
No.
Municipal Building Design Committee is meeting on Monday. We met 2 weeks ago. We did a survey to departments about wants versus needs. It is certainly interesting hearing what other departments feel their needs are. We're still working towards that. I do not have faith that this town is going to do anything towards building a new town hall anytime soon. I don't see any parents voting for anything like that, as long as there's 30 kids in a classroom. It's just not gonna happen.
Nope.
But we are continuing to survey needs and consider future uses, because eventually this will be useful. And I think that's it. We did meet with the athletics people, athletics boosters, and we did talk about, and I wanna, the end of the meeting, and it's weird to say this now, next year there's nothing left to cut. Extracurriculars and athletics are on the table. I know that one of the public commenters had asked about, let us know. Yeah, it's on the table next year. It is. Everything is on the table because we are desperate and there is no more sustaining cuts of this. This year we couldn't sustain these cuts, so times are tough. Okay, topics for future discussions.
Football helmet.
Yep, football
And
helmets, we gotta
uniforms.
follow up
And
on.
want the boosters to send us that request in writing.
Yeah. I'm a little nervous because all of the booster people I've talked to who are fundraising are all male sports, and that can't happen. It's just, we can't, I'm really sorry, saying no to money is gonna hurt. But, it's all been the all-male sports. That is not the failure or fault of anyone, and I'm not gonna fault any parent for advocating for their kid and doing the hard work, but, that can't happen. We should also, put that on the 29th, and, can we take a look at the fundraising policy and policy subcommittee? And that's it. No more, anyone have any other topics? Okay. Can I get a motion to adjourn at like 9:25-ish?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay,
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good job, Laura.
Motion passes.
Nice job, Lauren.
Good job.